So, in my last video, I took an online quiz about being highly sensitive to determine if I was a highly sensitive person or HSP. If you've seen my video on introverts, you've probably already picked up what I'm laying down, which is the limiting, detrimental effect that labeling yourself can have. Now, that's not to say that people don't have medical or psychological conditions that wouldn't benefit from being labeled. You know, okay, this is what I'm dealing with. These are the ways I need to treat it. But a lot of those sorts of labels, psychological labels especially now, seem to fulfill another purpose. And I actually had a couple of conversations this week, not about labels, but about the impulse that is behind this urge to label. I watched the Baz Luhrmann Romeo and Juliet with my 10-year-old boy this week. That 1996 Leonardo DiCaprio, Claire Danes, Romeo and Juliet. You know, I don't really like the story of Romeo and Juliet, but I love that movie stylistically. So well done. And then, you know, in it, Romeo says, "Stars, I defy you." So I got to talk to my son about astrology, fate. I was also driving with my 11-year-old daughter, and I guess we passed a palm reading place. I didn't see it, but she asked, "Do people actually still go to palm readers?" And that still in there was interesting because it was a little evidence of chronological snobbery. It's hard to escape. But in telling her that yes, people still do go to palm readers, we talked about why it is that people want these mystical experiences, want to believe in some sort of fate and some sort of force that controls destiny. But they don't want a religion that makes demands. In particular, they don't want to come to Jesus and say, "I am a sinner and I have sinned." With both palm reading and astrology, the comfort of it, besides the soothsayer telling you that all will be well, with more or less subtlety, maybe mixing in some bad, even if bad things happen to you, the comfort is, it's not my fault. It was outside of my control. There was nothing I could have done about it because it was in my ridge of Atlantis or whatever, I don't know. Or it was fated, it was in the stars. There is nothing I could have done about that evil thing. There was nothing I could have done to change this in myself and the world around me. That is the impulse behind labeling yourself. It's something like an HSP, I mean, highly sensitive person. I cry all the time. I am one who cries at commercials. So what? Does that absolve me from having to behave well? I don't really like people. You know what that makes me? An asshole. And I deal with it. I try to deal with it. I try to be kind and loving, genuinely. And I need God's grace every day for that. These labels are excuses. These labels are ways of escaping responsibility. The stars ordained that it be so. My timeline ordained that it be so. My personality, my label ordained that it be so. We all have limitations, we all have struggles, we all have sins. We are all broken, and we deal with that. If you are a Christian, you are drenched and covered in love and grace. And every day, you attempt not to be an asshole. At least that's what I do. Right? Every day, you attempt to not be overly sensitive. Is it good to study yourself? Is it good to take into account who you are? Of course. And people should be different. It's good that some people cry at the drop of a hat and others don't. Now, it's bad if on the one hand, you fall apart with the slightest breeze. It's bad if on the other hand, you are completely insensitive and desensitized to the whole world. God made us all different. We embrace that. We know what these things are about ourselves. But we don't escape responsibility for who we are by labeling ourselves. We escape the condemnation for sin through Jesus. But that is all. We continue to live our lives, to be ourselves. I'm beginning to talk in a circle now. So I'm going to stop. Down with labels. That's the message. Peace be upon you.